Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Moving Markets Podcast. It is Monday, August the 17th, 2026. The stock market's going to open here in about 5 or 6 seconds. It looks like we're going to have a very mixed opening this morning. We've got the Dow Jones Industrial Futures pointing down a fair amount. The S&P really flat, and the Nasdaq up a little bit. So very mixed opening. We'll see. As I was looking through, as I was like sort of scanning through Dow Jones Industrial stocks pre-market, I didn't see anything that was down a lot. I didn't see anything that looked to me like it was a major drag on the markets. What I saw was just a majority of the Dow companies were down. It's like the kind of a heavy majority of them were trading way to the downside. So it'll be interesting to see if that continues, if that holds. In these early few seconds that we're open, it's hard to know whether the markets will actually follow what the pre-market movement suggested they were going to do. It happens often. It does not happen all the time. There are definitely times where there are exceptions. For the most part, the trades that we are following currently, the stocks that we're following currently, are moving to the upside. Google is up a little bit. Nvidia is up a little bit. Palantir was down pre-market, but they are up a little bit. SanDisk is up a lot. SanDisk is up 5% right now, having an $80, $75, $80 move to the upside. If you got into that SanDisk trade with us, depending on what you're looking for an exit, you might have an opportunity to get out of SanDisk very quickly and get some really nice profit on that, up $71 a share right now. SpaceX, for the few of you that might still be in the SpaceX trade, I think there are not very many people still in that one. You should be close to getting out of SpaceX if you're not already. So overall, looking good. I opened a trade on Friday, and I know there was some commentary on it. This company called Red Cat Holdings. And they're taking a big hit today. Interesting that I jumped into, and let me start by saying, I jumped into a very small position on this company, incredibly small position. Like I'm literally into it for a few $100s. I'm not putting a lot of money into this trade. I'm not leveraging anything. I know a little bit about this company. I know one of the principles of this company. I promise I'm not doing anything with any insider information. I don't have any information about the company that is not public information. So I promise you, no insider trading going on of any kind here. But I am aware that they work closely with the Defense Department. They have some exciting things going on. For me, it felt, admittedly, it felt like what I might refer to as a little bit of a Las Vegas trade. It's like, put a few bucks on it, see what happens. Kind of my mindset was almost kind of a no harm, no foul type of thing, or no foul, no harm type of thing. By the way, I just exited. I don't know if you heard that little chime in the background. I am out of SpaceX now. My SpaceX trade took a little while to get filled. I know some of you have been out of it for a while already. I just barely exited mine, so I'm officially out of SpaceX now. I'll update the spreadsheet with that. And SanDisk, if you got in like I did for around $4 and some change, I think I was 415, 416 per share. I've seen the mid price as high as 650 this morning. Now, admittedly, the mid price is jumping around a lot because with SanDisk being up $90 a share right now, there's a lot of volatility in that one. But I think you should see a chance to get out of SanDisk really quickly, depending on what you're going for. Interestingly, Google was up right at the open, and now they're down $1.60. Palantir was up right at the open, and now down $1.25. But anyways, got that Red Cat. If you decide to copy me on that trade, you could go back and look at Discord and look at the trade we put on. It's probably cheaper right now than it was when I put it on Friday. I noticed a number of people commented in Discord that volatility was high, not a lot of options trade on it, so not a lot of volume trading on it. And it could be a hard trade to get into and perhaps a tough trade to get out of. But again, for me, it was just having learned a little bit about the company and I got a little bit excited about it. I decided to jump in. I think I jumped in with only a few contracts. Like I said, I'm only into the trade about $350. That's all I put on it. I'm not looking for some big giant profit on this trade. But they, like I said, the things that they're doing with the military, with the Department of Defense, it's all drone technology. They do things with drone software, with drone batteries. I know they have, again, and this is not insider information, this is public information. I know that they have some big government contracts, and I think they might be getting more or expanding on those contracts. So that's kind of for me where the excitement was around this company and why I decided to get into it a little bit. So do what you feel smart about doing. It's one of those ones that if you just sat back and did nothing with that one, I wouldn't blame you at all for that, because it's like I said, um, it's not something that I am super passionate about, but I do kind of like it. I do think it's kind of a cool, kind of an exciting thing. So anyway, all right, moving on. Amazon. I sent out on Discord this morning for the Triple Play members an Amazon trade, looking at an in the money bull call on Amazon. The mid price on this trade was like $2.10 before the market opened. I set it up with a $2 limit order, and I am going to just sit on that limit order today. If I don't get filled on that trade, I am totally 100% okay with that. I'm not going to raise my strike price, or excuse me, my limit order. I have seen the mid price come right down to like 201, 202. I just saw it briefly, not long enough for anything to fill, but I saw it briefly hit 185 just now as I was speaking. I'm just going to leave that limit order in place at $2 a share today and kind of cross my fingers and hope that I get a fill on that. I think there is a good chance that it will fill today because it's moving around a lot. My thought process on Amazon is simply this. I think Amazon is I'm surprised to see they were up pre-market and they were actually up kind of nicely. I may have to say scratch everything I said on Amazon. They're down a tiny bit right now, down 55 cents a share. That's not even a quarter of a percent. My thought process on Amazon is simply this. They had phenomenal earnings. They skyrocketed up. You've seen a steady profit taking. None of this was on really high volume. I think there is a level of support there right at that 260 a share. And that made me feel like they're either going to bounce back up and quickly come back to 270, or they're going to have a fall from grace and come right down to 260, and at least test it. Now, the long iron condor, because they're already moving down, the bear put side of that is already in the money. I set up the strike prices on this one based on where they were pre-market, and so the fact that they're now down instead of up in the actual trading day, this might be a really tough one to get filled. I may rethink the strike prices on this one and send out something different. But again, if I got in for the $2 a share that I'm trying to get in at, who cares if the bear put side of it is already in the money? I still think within the next 2 weeks, they could either easily jump right back up to $270 a share, or go down to and stay below 260, 250, which is the short put strike price on the trade I'm trying to get into. So that's my thought behind that one. I'm not going to spend a ton of time online this morning because I'm going to try and get trades out. We'll get a new Signal newsletter trade. After a little bit of profit taking, Palantir is back on the upside. That's the newest Signal newsletter trade we did. So they're looking good. Also, our trade on Nvidia continues to look really good. And like I said, if you're not out of SanDisk yet, I think you're going to find the opportunity to get out of that one. They're now up $90 a share this morning, 5.5%. So I'm going to work on trades this morning. There'll be more to talk about tomorrow based on whether we get into those trades or not. So probably a little bit longer podcast tomorrow. I think I know I hardly touched on any news going on, and that's because that, and from my perspective, from my personal opinion, the news happening right now is kind of the status quo. Still the bickering with Iran. The 60-day ceasefire that we entered into is scheduled to end today, but I don't know that that means anything because I don't know that either side has truly held the line on that ceasefire. So to me, there's not really news there that is new or moving things or directing things, but that could change at any time. All of our indexes negative net right now, but only by a little bit. A lot of stuff is flat. Palantir was up a little bit, then it was down a little bit, it was back up a little bit, now it's down a little bit. Nvidia is managing to stay positive, but only by a tiny bit. Google was up, then down, now it's back to almost flat. Um, I think the market has no sense of a real direction today. And I think that might continue until there is some big breaking news. I'll talk more about this tomorrow. There are some economic reports coming out, a lot of focus on housing later today and tomorrow, a lot of focus on housing. And then people will pay closer attention to the jobless claims on Thursday because of the way that report has affected the possibility of interest rates holding steady or going up or going down. So we'll keep an eye on those if there's not other news that sort of overshadows or dominates that. So I'm going to wrap up right there. I'll be back on live tomorrow morning, a very normal week as far as my schedule goes this week. So have a good rest of your Monday and watch Discord as you're able to today for new trades. Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.